What is up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to the channel. Today, I have actually just returned from a trip for New Year's with my family, and my cousin had been watching my pets while I was gone, and so it's been a while and I need to clean out all the tanks because they all kind of made a mess of their enclosures because I didn't have the person who's watching them actually clean out the tanks because I wanted to make it as easy as possible for them. So now I just have to do a bunch of water changes and fix up Kuzan, the leopard gecko's tank, because he kind of made a wreck of it, even though like the video you just saw was of it getting set up all nice and decorated, and it's been set up for like a month now, but I came back home, he kind of rearranged it and made it his own. So we're also gonna kind of put that back together so it looks a little bit presentable. And with that being said, let me give you a closer look at what we're gonna be doing today and what we're dealing with. So let's go take a look. So here you can see Kuzan's tank. Like I said, this probably looks the worst out of all of the tanks. You can see he rearranged quite a bit of the plants that kind of fell down, and he dug out all of the eco earth out of his other humid hide, and so I usually let most of that sit on the ground, but I'm gonna go ahead and push a little bit back because he spilled a lot, and it doesn't really work out when it goes into his water bowl. Kind of, just put back some of the plants, and also I have a couple new plants that I'm gonna add for some more decoration. You can see Kuzan's back there chilling, and he's got a bit of a mess in this corner that has to be cleaned out as well. So that's Kuzan's tank. Moving down here, we have the Axolotl tank. You can kind of see him chilling back there, hiding. Light is not on because he really doesn't like that. But you can see he does need a water change. There's a couple of his turds floating around in here, so we're going to get that all cleaned up for him. Hoku looks actually pretty good. Just needs a top off of some water after I do a water change, just to make sure everything is doing well in here. But he actually looks pretty good. His tank looks pretty clean. And then let's go ahead and check on Nemo. So you probably can't see me very well because it's a little bit dark down here, but it looks like for this tank I'm just gonna need to do a quick little water change. Nemo is actually up there basking, but I'm just gonna change probably not even that much, maybe like 10 gallons of water out of this 75 gallon. Call it good, and then we will be done. Yep. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started and start working on doing a water change on Hoku's tank. Alright, so that is Hoku's tank finished. Now let's move on to the leopard gecko and the axolotl. I'm just gonna leave some of this eco earth because it gives a little bit of texture, and he's probably gonna dig it out anyway. So I just leave a little bit out, but kind of like to make it, smooth it out, make it look kind of like it's supposed to be there. So anyway, there's that, and then I added a little bit more back into that. And now I'm just gonna kind of rearrange. I'm gonna go ahead and wash the water bowl. All right, so here is this clean water bowl, which has been treated with some ReptiSafe. And then additionally, I found a bunch of cool plants that I decided I wanted to add. I know the leopard geckos are supposedly more desert, but I just like a lot of green in my tanks. And because my turtle tanks are not planted, I try to make my other tanks a little bit more. So these are just fake. These ferns are actually really cool. They're like made out of silicone, so they're a little bit bendy and not so pointy. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a spot for these, trim the bottom if I have to. I actually got these in a plant section where like you can buy plants for flower arrangements, and so they were pretty cheap and actually look pretty good. So we're gonna see if I can find a spot for some of this. This is literally gonna look like a crested gecko terrarium before I know it. Okay, so these stems are super long, so I think I'm just gonna clip them so I can stick them somewhere. Alright, so this literally looks like a crested gecko terrarium, but long ways because I added so many plants. But I mean, that's not to say there's still not like shrub and stuff where they live in their natural habitat that gives them cover. So now you can see that he has lots of cover and places to hide in this tank, which is super duper cool, especially since it's a lot bigger. So we want this little dude to feel secure. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave him alone, and let's go ahead and move on to the Axolotl. Hey buddy. Okay, so we gotta do a water change in your tank. Alright, so now it is the axolotl's turn. As you can see, there's been quite a bit of evaporation because of the surface agitation from the sponge filter, as well as the fan that is normally on. I've turned it off for now because I'm going to be doing a water change. So we're going to go ahead and do a water change on this tank. Alright, well as you can see, we have now done our little water change, and the tank is mostly all clean of debris and poop. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill the tank back up with some fresh water. And as you can imagine, I can't just dump a bucket of water in here, because although there is a little bit of clearance here so that I can actually reach into the tank and whatnot, I can't exactly fill it up by just pouring water directly, so I have to use my siphon, and this siphon has been cleaned since using it with Hoku. It has been completely rinsed out and sanitized, so now I can use it with Mochi. And as you can see, it's like physics. You can see I have my bucket of water here, and because it is higher than the tank down here, once I get the suction flowing, it will all just travel down the pipe into the tank. And so that's a fast way I can fill up water, but without having to dump buckets. So we're gonna go ahead and get this siphon started and fill up the axolotl's tank and then check in on Nemo. Alright, so there is Mochi, and he's got a little bit of debris on his head. And don't worry, that's not an injury on his head, that's just a little bit of the debris that came out when I was filling the tank. Usually that happens, it kicks them up, but that's why you do frequent water changes. So we're gonna go ahead and move onto Nemo's tank. So here is the clean tank. Nemo decided to grace us with his presence, came downstairs from his basking ramp. So did a couple water changes on this, and now this is clean, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. So that is today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me clean out all of my pets' enclosures. I'm super glad that I was able to get it all done, and now they are all much happier with clean water and clean tanks. So if you guys enjoyed it, feel free to drop a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye-bye!